can see, we disassembled one side so you guys can see how we're gonna assemble steps 1 through 6. We're gonna have this as a reference, you know, for the assembly. The hardware that you guys are gonna find, you guys will see it in obviously in a bag, but you guys are gonna be able to find out that there's 3 main screws you're gonna use, your long ones for your frames. This one's also gonna be for your frame, and you're gonna have the short one that's gonna be for your pulleys. This ones are gonna be for your fairings, which are your hex Allen wrench. And then this little tiny ones are also gonna be for your pull-up bars and, you know, some attachments that we're gonna go over. Yep. Okay, so when you guys, before you put this together and you put your mainframe and the bottom legs together, you guys are gonna notice that everything comes in a big bubble wrap, right? So what I need you guys to make sure is, especially this frame right here, these holes, there's a little bit of powder coat residue. What you guys wanna do is, when you guys are outside, before you enter this machine to your house, you need to tilt it to one side so everything comes off of that powder coat, and you just keep moving it back and forth until it's empty. If you do not shake it and you leave it here, it's gonna trickle over time and it's gonna fall. That is gonna fall into your weights over here. So you guys gotta make sure that the frame, we clean that out as much as you can. You tilt it to the side. You're gonna see that it's gonna be like this little tiny bearings that are gonna fall off. So you gotta make sure you guys clean that up before you do the installation. Okay. All right. Okay. You're gonna notice on first step, there's gonna be 6 pieces that you guys are gonna be doing. The bottom legs, the sides, and the horizontals that hold the machine together. So the first thing you guys wanna do is obviously mount. You have a helper, you guys are gonna mount the sides to the bottom. You guys will use your long bolts are gonna go across this way. Your medium bolts are gonna go down this way, okay? And that's gonna be basically for the whole frame. Once you guys do left and right, you guys are gonna you're gonna do this one, and your pull-up bar, and the same thing. You're gonna use your long ones for the widest part of the frame, right? And you're gonna use your medium ones for the narrow part of the frame. Yeah. Next step is gonna be to put your uprights and then your railing system, okay? Obviously your railing system goes on the side, it's gonna go with the long bolts. But for your uprights, you guys wanna make sure which one is right and left. The only way to know which one is your right and your left is you grab your J-hook, you put it all the way in on the right side or the left side, and it should flush all the way. So there shouldn't be any gaps or anything, it should just be a perfect fit. If that is a perfect fit, that is your right upright. If you do it backwards, it's not gonna sit right. So you guys gotta make sure before you tie this down, you gotta make sure which one is your left and which one is your right, okay? As far as your pulley, your glider system is gonna be off, right? So you guys gotta make sure that there's the inserts in here. These little inserts are sometimes a little difficult to put in, right? But you have to use maybe like a flat screwdriver to kind of wiggle it in until it's all the way in. But you got to be careful not to damage the inside with the screwdriver, because then this gliding system might become a little sticky, okay? So it should glide in there fairly easy. And the other thing you want to pay attention to is that it's sitting this way. Sometimes they're inverted, they're the other way around. So you got to make sure that your right one is sitting here this way, and where you're going to be feeding your cable, it's going to be at the bottom this way. So when you guys put it in, it looks like this on your right, and it looks like this on your left side. So before you guys tie everything down and try to run the cable, that's how it needs to look. Good. Okay. For step number 3, we're gonna be putting your rods for the guidings for the Smith bar. You guys are gonna notice that there's 2 of them. They're a little bit heavier than the other ones. You're also going to be using the cushions where the barbell is basically going to be landing for cushion, but you're going to notice that there's two of them. Okay, these skinnier ones, small, thinner ones, are going to be for your stocks. They're going to go down here. Okay, these ones are for that. So make sure you guys don't confuse the cushions, right? Because there's only two of them that are going to be for your Smith. Okay, now you guys are going to notice that on this side it's going to be your stopper or your safety. It's going to go at the bottom, and up here up top there's going to be these two locks right there that holds the bar in place with hex bolts right here. Okay, so the best way to guide it in is there's needle bearings right here. The best thing to do this, you guys, is to put the bar in first, just imagine that we don't have this on right now and the bar is just sitting here. You need to shift the bar all the way to one side and make sure that you can guide the rod into the sleeve. The bar should just slide in the sleeve fairly easy. You should not force it in. It should just go in very smoothly. If you force it in, you're gonna mess up the needle bearings that are in there. So you need to go make sure it's smooth, and then you stand it upright this way, okay? Then at the bottom, you're gonna have your, where is it? This way, okay. At the bottom, you're gonna, first, your cushion's gonna go in, right? No, sorry. First, your stopper is gonna go in. You guys are gonna place it this way. And then your cushion's gonna go in like so, okay? Then we're just gonna guide it in until it's sitting right there, okay? So you guys can just leave it that way. Then, you guys will grab this one right here, then you're gonna run through it up here, just like so. You're gonna line it up, and it's gonna hold the bar in place. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Using an Allen wrench, or if you guys have the attachments, make sure you guys screw these on both sides so it holds that attachment right there in place. On the other side as well, and there's one down here as well. Oh, pero no está. Right there. Good, and it's just gonna hold that barbell in place. Make sure it's wrist tight. Good. Everything is good to go. All right. Once you have the bar in, we need to line it up. Make sure there's even distance on both sides. From here, if you guys notice here, you guys can actually slide the barbell to make sure there's equal distance on both sides, because this sleeve right here is gonna lock it in place on left and right. So you gotta make sure there's even distance on your left and your right. It looks about right, on left and right. The other thing that you need to line up in place before you tie it down is your sleeve or the collars that go into your J hooks. You want them to be lined up right in the middle. So over time, when you guys are locking them back and forth, they don't rub into the teeth, right? Left and right. Good. Once you do that, then you have bolts little here on both sides, and the outside collar right here, and it's gonna lock the barbell in place. Yeah. This up. All right, step number 4 is gonna be your weight stocks. So as you guys can notice, there's gonna be 2 rods. The things that you're gonna need are gonna be this sleeve right here, and we're gonna basically place it this way, okay? Just slide them in, right? Feed it into the hole right here. It's gonna line right there, and then you're just gonna stack all of your stocks. So it looks like this one over there until your final stack was attached to the pulley. Yeah. Once you've done all the stocks and you put the final one, your pulley, this is the smallest pulley you're gonna see, is gonna be all the way to the top right here. Also, what you wanna do is somebody needs to help you guys or assist you. So to slide it in, you guys want to see, this is how we were feeding all the stocks. you're basically gonna pull it up. You need to hold it in place. Okay, hold it in place, and there's 2 Allen screws in here to hold that bar in place. Okay, right there. Make sure you do the in and the outside, and then it's gonna hold it in place. You're also gonna notice that there's a lube that comes with the machine. You guys need to lube these up first before you feed your stack, so it's a little bit more smooth. And that's gonna be part of your maintenance too, to be able to just lube it up over time so it glides a little bit more smoothly. These can be done at any time of the installation. You guys notice that pulleys, your smaller bolts everywhere. When you guys tie these down, make sure they can spin freely. You're gonna do all the pulleys. The best way to do is to do all the pulleys except for this one right here. Because this one, you need to do the cover. You need to run the cover, run the pulley. That way. And then run it on this side and then tie everything down before you can run your cable, okay? All right, step number 5, you guys, as you can see, we're gonna run the cable. You have to run it through the front pulley right here. We're gonna go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way down to the stack here, back up to this pulley right here, and finally to this pulley down here. And then we're gonna feed it all the way here. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do that real quick. We're gonna go through here. Since it's short. Step on this because it's solid. I can step up, bring it up here, feed it through. Feed it. There's 2 holes here. Down to this pulley, up here, up to the pulley that's behind here. There's a pulley here. Everything goes on top, all the way down to this pulley here. Feeding it through to the last pulley here. Good. There's 2 bolts right here. You're gonna feed it through all the way up. What you guys are gonna notice, your cable's going to stick out. There's a cable, it's gonna be an excess of cable here, and you guys need to cut it. So the best way to do it is once you feed it through, you got to make sure that this is somewhat loose, okay? If you feed it through and it's too tight and you cut it too tight, you're gonna have a hard time with your stacks right here. So you got to make sure that this is somewhat loose, okay? You have a little bit of play right there, okay? About 2 to 3 inches play, and then you're gonna cut it. Once you cut it, then you're gonna tie these down to hold them down. All right, your fender or the cover on the side, you guys gonna notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4 at the bottom, right? You're gonna slide it in. Whoop. Then we're just gonna put all the screws in there and tie them down. Yeah. All right, when you guys are attaching your jammer arms and we look at the sides, right? You're gonna see there's smaller gaps in between this one. I like to place it, this is all about preference. As far as your handle, I like to place it on the last one here, and then obviously this one will attach to the next hole that's available. But you gotta make sure when you're looking at your jammer arm, okay, this is the top of the bottom, the widest part is here, the smaller parts on this side right here, okay? Then as far as your plate holder, right, it's on the opposite side. It's gonna slide in, you're gonna bolt it here, okay? Some of you guys Some of you guys will have a shorter insert of the sleeve because you have a knob. Okay, this was only for 24 machines and we discontinued this one right here. So if you happen to have this one right here, it's gonna come in like this. The best way to do it is to slide this one in, nut right here to hold it in place. Grab this right here. So it just holds that washer in place. It holds that washer in place. So if you do end up using your jammer arm to lock it in place, for example, on this side right here, it's the second pin. Flush it on this side right here, so it's like a second safety that you have on top of your pin. So obviously that will go first, and this is just gonna flush it in place. Some of you guys will not have this. Some of you guys will have this one right here, the original model, which is basically a longer bolt that's gonna go in on both sides. Gonna fit right in. It doesn't need the safety because it goes on the other side. Yeah, good. All right, so you guys have all your attachments right here. Obviously everything stores in the machine, otherwise it'll be like a lot of clutter in your garage or your home. All your dip bars, they attach. Personally, I like to place them this way and out that way. Your spotters, and that way. Your J-hooks that way. Then you guys have pins to hold everything down on the sides. Your jammer arms, they flip this way. Slides in, holds it in place right there, so it locks in place. You have your pull-up bar. Holds it here, right there. Then you have your jammer arm attachment, right there. Your mine. The mine has a ring. This ring needs to be held in place by the screw right here. Once you hold it in place, it's the same diameter of the shaft right here. So what you guys want to do, make sure the ring is flushed so you guys can run it all the way to one side. Once it's there, you guys can loosen up, and the ring's gonna fall. And it's gonna get in place. Your platform, let's put this one in. On this side. Your leg press platform, so you go in this way. It's the best way to get in. Goes in, right there in place. And your angle for platform for your leg press, your shoulder press with the jammer arms. We'll go this way. In. You guys can have it here in place. You usually just kind of like to store it in the back. And these are your pull-up band holders. So this one's can attach from any side here. Just in case that you want to attach like a pull-up band to your Smith bar, you can attach it, anchor it this way. So it's just for band placement, and that's it.